So we have Joe Mercer, and now Joe, tell us a little bit about yourself and how.
Myself first.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, of course, because it's all about me.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. I started out about 10 years ago. I became a Screen Actors Guild member, but before that, for many years, I was at Smager's Theater and Supper Club, Dinner Theater and Supper Club. I was in almost every single show they ever did.
Okay.
So things got started with there. Then I became a member. I just kept going. I became a member of Equity, but then I can't do any local theater because it has to be union. But you can do improv because it doesn't have a beginning, middle, and end. It's improv. It's not written down. And I went, ding, huh. So about, because I do ding a lot. I ding a lot. But about 5 years ago, I put together a little group of very talented people who started to do sketch comedy. And we did that.
That's different from improv?
Different from improv. It can be related in a technical way. We wound up going out to Second City in Chicago and actually training out there.
Wow.
And what happens is they do their improv in order to create sketch comedy for a show, which is probably one of the things that we're going to wind up doing eventually. But in the meantime, we started the sketch comedy troupe. We worked from Allentown to Philadelphia, and we were really good. We had a really good time and some pretty successful shows. But then we started to gravitate more towards the improvisational style comedy, and that's how we wound up where we are.
Well, when did you form Dutch Blitzkrieg? When did
the original Dutch Blitzkrieg was formed about 5 years ago, and then we turned into improv about a year and a half ago.
So we have today with us we have 4 members of it?
We have 4 members. We're missing Andy Gaston. Hi, Andy, we miss you.
Right.
But Rick is an original member.
Okay.
He's one of our original founding members.
How'd you find Rick? How'd you find these guys?
Well, when I was a kid, my mom made me learn how to read. When I can do that.
Okay,
and then one day I read an ad in Reading Eagle, and that's how I met Joe.
Well, what theater have you done in the past, or what?
I was in a high school play, but it was unusual because I was a sophomore and snuck into the senior play. And they didn't know I wasn't a senior.
They didn't know you.
He had a lot of facial hair.
I had a lot of facial hair.
Actually,
and they just thought I was in everybody else's class. And then when I was going to college, I was an MC, Master of Ceremonies, for the oldest existing beatnik coffee house. When I was there, the hippies had it. I was in Columbus, Ohio, in the basement of the Wesleyan Center, Ohio State University. And then a couple of years ago, I got involved with a local movie production, the War Effort, with Bob Seska. And
that was all improv, too.
That was all improv. Yeah. That was an interesting experience, to say the least.
Yeah.
And that movie went to the No Dance Film Festival.
No Dance?
Yeah, it's across the street and the very same time as the Sundance Festival.
Okay.
We're like the poor cousin that, can't sit at the big table. So we were there for a week in Utah. I met Forrest Whitaker and Andy Dick and Selma Hayek and Mike Figgis, the director. So it was a very cool experience. We were, celebrity watching all the time.
Where do they show the films for the No Dance? Like in a coffee house or something?
No, it's across the street in an abandoned mall. I think we're in the old shoe store. And they just put some bed sheets up on the wall.
That was the first year they had sound, wasn't it?
It was quite some time ago. Yeah. For a while, we just had people sit in the front and read a script and try and match their lip movements to their voices.
Interesting. So, Adam, you're an actor also, huh?
Yes, I am. Joan's my mom, so pretty much whatever.
Plugged you into it.
Thank you, Mom! So, all that I had...
Never figured that out.
You're Joe's love child. I never knew.
Because I love him.
So, I had...
Are you still going to school?
Actually, I am in college. I'm starting my second week in college at RAC.
At RAC,
so, for a liberal arts program.
Good. Okay.
Yep. And it's a transfer program, and I'm going to go to Kutztown for music.
So were you one of those babies that were in the drawers backstage or whatever?
Pretty much. Actually, I was in a lot of the shows, too.
Yeah.
Small parts, big parts. There was, at Smager's, they have a children's theater upstairs, and I did pretty much all of the shows they had there for the children's. And then I was in some really minor parts for the adult shows. Not adult as in inappropriate,
adult,
but
like the X-rated shows, right?
older people shows.
Okay, right.
So that's pretty much my whole
Okay.
acting.
All right. Well, I mean, what about you, Rob? How'd you get involved with this group?
Well, I started doing theater with Genesius about 12 years ago, and had never done anything before in my life, and at about age 30-something, I decided I wanted to try something new and audition for a show, and it was When Pigs Fly. It was in 1999. It was an all-gay musical review, and I got cast as the lead. It was the first show I ever did, singing 5-part harmonies. I was kind of crazy. But I
still sang 5-part harmony.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. We'll have to have another show just to talk about that. But so I did a lot of shows with Genesius and RCP and a couple independent things, and I don't even remember where I saw. I think it was something was distributed to the email list from Reading Community Players that they were looking for people to audition for an improv comedy troupe. And I always wanted to do improv. My favorite shows of all time were like Second City TV and Monty Python and things like that. So comedy really appealed to me, and went out and auditioned and made it. And then we kind of, Adam and I and Andy, who's not here, Andy, all went out to Second City to do training last year. So it's been a very educational and lots of fun, on a new venue.
Yeah. And we're talking with Dutch Blitzkrieg tonight, and they're a comedy improv troupe here in Greater Reading. And we're going to give you a little sample of what this is all about, because I love comedy improv.